Hey, Alexa, play the latest episode of the podcast Young and in Love.
Getting the latest episode of Young and in Love. Here it is from TuneIn.
I'm Josh.
I'm Taylor.
We're the Andersons. And this is Young and in Love. Welcome to episode 8 of Young and in Love. Today we will talk about the 5 love languages. Taylor, why don't you explain to us what the 5 love languages is?
Are. So the 5, I don't know the order of them, but the 5 love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, service, touch, and gifts.
Which is conveniently the order of her 5 love languages. You'll understand in a few seconds.
Did you want me to explain?
Yeah.
Me?
No, explain what the test is.
Oh, so if you want to find out what your love languages are, or maybe what your partner's love languages are, Gary Chapman has wrote a book called The 5 Love Languages that I actually have read, and it's really good, and it has helped our relationship a lot. It helped me understand a lot about Josh and a lot about myself, and it helped a lot with the communication between us and our relationship. But anyways, if you go to the website 5lovelanguages.com, you can take his test, which tells you the order of your love languages and like what your main love language is, so like you speak and how you like to receive love.
A quick overview and good explanation as to why this is important was given by pastors Rich and Dawn Cherie on an episode of the Steve Harvey Show, which I will play for you now.
In our marriage, once again, I think it's a journey, and our friendship I think always comes first. But I've had to learn, how to love Dawn Cherie. I think this is one of the greatest mistakes that people make, is that so often we love people the way that we want to be loved. But we all receive love different ways. One of my favorite books is a book by Dr. Gary Chapman. It's called The 5 Love Languages. And essentially what he says that everybody receives loves in 5 different categories. Physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, or gifts. What I've learned about Dawn Cherie is that she likes gifts and quality time. Hello. But different from her, for me, my thing is words of affirmation and physical touch. So essentially, if you touch me and tell me I look good, I'm happy, okay?
My man.
Hello, come on,
So you ain't got to buy me nothing.
Right, nothing. Just touch me and tell me you like me,
A lot.
Yeah. And so when we first got married, I was just touching her and just saying, your hair looks pretty. But that's not how she receives love. She wants me to sit there and just spend time, and she wants gifts. And right, until I learn that, I'll just love her the way that I want to receive love instead of loving her the way that she receives love.
Wow.
So words of affirmation is a love language, and that basically means that you just need to hear those words of affirmation told to you. So they can be things like, you're so good at blank, or you look so pretty today, or, oh, I love you so much, stuff like that. Quality time basically just means you need to spend quality time with the person that you love to feel love.
This is uninterrupted quality time, which means
no phones, no TV.
Your undivided attention is towards this person.
Yeah.
In whatever you guys are doing.
Then it's service. So in order to feel love, you need to have your partner perform acts of service on you or for you. So that can be things like surprise, like doing the dishes, or filling up the car with gas, or I don't know, anything else.
Making you breakfast.
Yeah, doing the laundry, stuff like that you really don't expect. And then the 4th love language is touch, and that's physical touch. So things like you feel love when you're kissed, you're hugged, you're cuddled, you're touching at all things, like sex, all that stuff. And then the 5th love language is gifts, and that's receiving gifts. So you feel love when your partner surprise brings you home your favorite candy from the gas station or like your favorite 4 for $4 meal from Wendy's or I don't know, stuff like that.
Yeah. So this order of the 5, number 1 being words of affirmation, number 2 being quality time, number 3 being service, number 4 being touch, and number 5 being gifts, was Tay's order of her 5 love languages back when I took a class in college called Interpersonal Relationships, which we've talked about. Yeah, before we were married. We were only dating at the time. And I took this back... No.
No, we were engaged.
No, I took this junior year.
Oh.
That was 2016, 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. We were only dating. And this was her love languages back then. My love languages at the time were... Number 1, quality time. Number 2, words of affirmation. Number 3, acts of service. Number 4, physical touch. Number 5, receiving gifts. So pretty close to the same. We only flipped 1 and 2, right? Words of affirmation, quality time. Yep. So today what we're going to do is retake the tests and then talk about what we think and why we think things have changed if they have indeed changed. We're going to take a quick moment and highlight one of our sponsors, Anchor.
So if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let us explain.
It's free. All you need to do is download their app or visit their website, which is anchor.fm.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more.
They will literally take care of all of the distribution services, so all you have to do on the day of is hit publish. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone using the app or computer if you'd much rather just use the website.
You can even make money from your podcast without even having one listener.
Yeah, without a single listener, they'll find sponsors that are willing to give you a chance and give you a shot at making money.
It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
So all we ask is that if you have a story to tell or a message to share, that you download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. When I had an idea to start a podcast, I had no idea where to start. But I had listened to Candace and Casey's Couples Therapy, and they had mentioned an app called Anchor. And I was really intrigued to see how really simple it could be to make a podcast.
Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means that you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad.
So, if you always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. That's Anchor, as in ANCHOR.FM/START to join me in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. I can't wait to hear your guys' podcasts. Okay, test results are in, and these are the answers.
I'm shocked. Not really. Well, I don't know.
Shocked that you changed or shocked at the results?
I don't know. A little of both. I had a hard time answering some of the questions, but I definitely thought that the results were going to be different than what they were.
Yeah.
But I didn't know really how they were going to be different.
Per your daily actions and what the test results show, I was shocked.
Really?
Yeah. Go ahead and tell them what the order is.
And then you'll explain.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me now, number 1 love language is quality time compared to, should I do a comparison?
Sure.
Or no. Compared to the old test, which said number 1 was words of affirmation. Number 2 now is words of affirmation.
Demoted.
Compared to the old test, number 2, which was quality time. So they switched places. Number 3 is service, and that's the same as the old test. Number 4 is gifts.
Moving on up.
Compared to the old test where number 4 was physical touch. And now number 5 is physical touch compared to the old test where number 5 was gifts. Which I'm actually really shocked that physical touch is last.
Same. Coming from the person who wants to have sex at least 5 times a week. Like, that is shocking.
I think...
That touch is 5. But you want to hear my theory first?
Yeah.
I think for you, physical intimacy is quality time. Where we're growing together. And that's why it gets so high up on your list. Because it is just you and I and nothing else happening. Which is the definition of quality time.
Good. Okay. Could be true.
Yeah. Otherwise, everything else is sort of normal. Yeah, I knew words of affirmation was going to be up there. Service, I figured it was going to be right around the middle again because you're always asking me to do things for you. Which I don't mind. It's just, most of the time, I need to be, like, I need you to ask me and I'll do them. Gifts is normal because you enjoy getting gifts, but you receive them very awkwardly. You like never know what to do.
Right.
You're like, oh,
well, I'm never because I never
thanks.
expect them, and then I'm like, I don't know. I don't consider myself a high maintenance person or like
Right.
a needy person. So whenever someone like helps me unexpectedly or like gives me something, I'm like, oh, thanks. Like I didn't really need this, but that's really nice of you. Like it's nice of you to think of me, and like it makes me happy. But I'm just like, didn't really like need it. But cool.
So why do you think quality time is number 1?
I was thinking a lot about that. I think because like now that we're like married, I don't know. I don't know if like words of affirmation was number 1 for me in the old test just because we were dating and like our relationship really was not like as strong as it is now. So I think I always needed that like reassurance that you did love me and that like things are always okay. Because I would ask you all the time if we were okay. True story, guys. I was psycho. I wasn't psycho, but I would ask all the time if things are okay because I was so scared of like, I don't know, but I just needed to hear it all the time. And now that we're married and he shows me every day that he loves me and I still like to hear that he loves me, but it's not, but I know, but I don't know. I know that you love me by the things that you do for me. So I don't need you to tell me that I'm strong or I'm beautiful or that you love me like every second of every day because I know those things. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But for quality time, I mean, like, I love you and I want to be with you a lot and I miss you when you're gone. And I mean, now there's things like work and church responsibilities and like other things that, I don't know, like we're always so busy. We have things to do all the time, like around other people. And it's really nice when we can just take a break from all of that. And like, we're just together, like you and I, like we get to go like have a day together or I don't know. So even if we're doing a small like errand or something, like as long as I'm with you, like I'm happy as can be because like it's just us and like we're not really doing anything else.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I don't know. But I was what are the other ones? Service. So yeah, service is in the same spot as the last time, but I think it's different because like now I don't know, I really appreciate when like you do stuff for me, especially when it's unexpected. Like I was planning on doing something and then I come home or get done doing what I'm doing and you've already done it. And I'm like, oh wow, like that was really nice. And it I don't know, I think that's just another way that you show me how much you love
Right.
me, which I don't know, it makes me feel good.
Right. For me, I do it because I know it'll make you less stressed when you get home.
Yeah.
It'll help you relax. So I sort of learned that from the last time, though.
Wait, should I talk?
My results are also in. And as a refresher, 2016 to 2017, because I don't remember what semester I took this in. Number 1, quality time. Number 2, words of affirmation. Number 3, service. Number 4, touch. Number 5, gifts. And our 2018 results are... Number 1. Again, quality time. I got a 9 on this. I don't know what the totals are. It's out of, let's see here, 6, 4, 20, 10, 20, 30. It's out of 30. So a 9 out of 30. Quality time. Number 2, with an 8 out of 30. Acts of service. Number 3, with a 6 out of 30. That is my dog hacking up probably a piece of his toy. It's okay, Gus. Number 3, with 6 out of 20 is
30.
6 out of 30 is touch. The 4th one is a 4 out of 30, which is gifts. And a whopping 10% is words of affirmation. I can start with the last one because I know that's the most obvious. I don't need to hear that I'm pretty. I know it. I am a very self-assured person. I'm very confident in the fact that I can do anything I put my mind to, and that anything that I want to happen, I can make it happen. Whether or not that happens immediately, or I can plan and make the necessary steps to achieve that, depends on the circumstance. But I know without a shadow of a doubt that I can do things that I put my mind to, and I can learn things that I want to learn. That comes from a lifetime of failures and very few major successes. So knowing that failure is a part of life, and failure is part of every process, no matter what you try and do. And with that explanation, I really don't need any words of affirmation, which could sound sort of egotistical, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's a faith-based confidence, because I know that if I can't achieve what I want to achieve, that God will provide a way for me to achieve it. And that's where I place my faith in a higher power. Whether or not you call that higher power God or karma or the universe, I think it's entirely necessary in one's life to believe in some sort of higher power, so that when life puts you in the dumps, you can believe that it will turn around. Number 4, gifts. I'm really not a materialistic person outside of electronics. I like dope tech. So cool things that can get me excited, or cool innovations. I love those types of things, but usually they're like $1,500 or $1,200. So it's generally just not something I like to receive from other people, because usually they're really expensive, like $1,500 or $500 or something like that. So I really don't like it when people get it for me, because I feel like a mooch, which my parents may disagree with from my knack for persuasion. But anyways, gifts out of the kindness of people's hearts sort of puts me on edge. So that's why it's a whopping 4 out of 30. Physical touch.
It's moved up.
Moved up. Moving on up.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I think that comes, which, this, I think it comes from my, like, observations and, like, my attempt to make Taylor and I the relationship that Taylor and I share better. So I've been focusing more on touch and physical touch and, how my relationship progresses with that. And I think that's why it's moved up on my list, because now I've associated that touch with moments of quality time with Taylor and the things we do together. So that's why touch moved up. Acts of service, number 2. I really want a partner in a relationship. I don't just want a lover or someone who looks pretty when I come home or has dinner ready. Acts of service, a lot of the questions that I answered for this one, because I sort of perceived it halfway through that it was moving up in a major way, because of recent experiences where I've really wanted Taylor to be a part of something that I like, and for her maybe not to appreciate it as much as I do, but at least appreciate the fact that I enjoy it, and therefore she's willing to sacrifice for that. Not necessarily folding my laundry or washing the dishes, but sacrificing her time in order to make room for mine, which goes right along with quality time. And the fact that quality time was 9 and acts of service is 8, I just considered them a tie. And that they were both really high up on my priority list, since they take up almost 2/3. I guess they're closer to 1/2 than 2/3 of my priorities. So, yeah. Any questions?
How do you think we do?
On providing for each other's quality time? Or each other's tests? Each other's love languages. How fluent am I in your love languages?
But like you should answer like me for you and like you for me. That way it's not like, I don't know, biased.
Negative, yeah.
Yeah.
Words of affirmation I've really tried to focus on a lot. At least like once a day. No?
Oh.
You have a quizzical look.
Oh, I thought I explained myself as like you talk about like yours and how I've been doing.
Oh, isn't that sort of negative though? Like,
oh,
you suck at touching me, or you're terrible at giving gifts.
Okay. You continue.
Okay.
Oh. I'm invading his personal space. Only because my feet get cold.
I guess it's not very truthful if I just talk about what I think I'm doing well, right? Maybe it is better that we do it. Okay. I understand.
Did you flag that?
Yeah. So, how Taylor has been doing? Bum, bum, bum. There's sound effects. I should just add them in. They probably have stuff like this. Anyways, the quality time? Maybe I just rank it in the order that I think you've been giving priority. How about that?
Okay.
Quality time has not been number 1. I've voiced this quite frequently.
Well, maybe it's probably the difference of how like I see quality time versus how you see quality time. Considering quality time is my number 1, too.
Yeah.
Which is very different.
I don't really like watching television. I pick up on a lot of red herrings very easily, and I enjoy creative thinking and using my imagination. So a lot of times I can guess what's coming up in a TV show.
Guys, he's so good at it.
So it's not because like I watch a ton of television so I know what's going on. I understand stories and plot lines and the basic strategies that writers use in order to like entice viewers and bring them in. So it's ruined a lot of normal television for me. There's very few television shows that I really enjoy because they do a really good job at character development or story development, and I can follow along and not have to guess, and most often like guess correctly what's going to happen next. But Taylor loves watching television. She really enjoys the drama that comes along with it and like enjoying other people's stories. So she likes doing that things, but I like sort of doing more hands-on crafty things. And so that's where our quality time is split, how you explained. So in my mind, a quality time is like a 3, like 3 out of 5 for me. And like adapting to my definition of quality time. Well, that one's going to be tough, huh? Understanding each other's definition of quality time, and then making sure we have an accurate balance of each. Whew. I need to speak quicker. I would say number touch was going to be like the first one, but I've sort of understood why you focus a lot on touch, because you just want to be next to me and you want to like feel close to me during your quality time. And that's why I thought touch for you was like number 1 or number 2 at least, not last. And then another one, you do acts of service really well. That one's really well. So that's good, because that's my number 2, but I essentially tied with number 1. So she does that really well. She makes my lunch every day, or she makes sure that like the house is clean, or like we're up on time, and sometimes she'll make me breakfast, and she'll like, if I ask her to do something for me because I'm really busy at work, but I remember something, then she goes ahead and does it if she's at home. And so it's really nice to have someone to rely on. So she does that really well. Gifts, we're on a really tight budget right now because student debt. We're trying to get out of that as quickly as possible. So gifts, there's not a whole lot of opportunity, but she does write really nice notes, and I appreciate those, and I accept those as gifts. And words of affirmation, she encourages me when I let her know I need it, or if she perceives that I'm having a tough day, she'll sort of rub my back and give me a tight hug and know that we're doing pretty well.
I feel like that's when you need it, because what I used to do, as I said, words of affirmation was my number 1. That's how like I showed him my love too. But then I sort of realized it was like the in one ear, like out the other type thing, where like it really wasn't doing anything at all. So now like I know that he doesn't need it. Like he doesn't need to hear it at all. Like he needs other things from me. So I don't want to say I stopped telling you like all this stuff, but I focus on like doing it when like I see that he's really stressed, or like he's had a really bad day, or yeah, he just needs some like extra encouragement to get him going.
Yep. All right, your turn.
Oh wait, you ranked them? I was just gonna.
No, I didn't really. I started out with the one that you were doing best, but then I just went through.
I was just gonna start. Okay.
Yep.
Quality time. I think that you do a great job with like making me feel loved through quality time, because he does. He'll come home from work, and like if I'm like today I was folding laundry and I had the TV playing while I was folding laundry, he could have like gone off and done like something else while I was doing that, but he sat on right next to me while I was doing it, and he watched TV with me, and I don't know, we eat dinner, we talk together. I feel like that's normal, but that's quality time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, whenever we aren't really doing anything, he makes an effort just to do something with me, or if we do have time to do something and I choose to watch TV instead, he'll be with me while I watch TV and not really complain about it, or he'll like put his head on my lap, which is really cute, and sometimes fall asleep. Number 2, words of affirmation. He also does a really good job at this. he tells me every day that he loves me and that I'm beautiful. And this is really important when I have like really bad days, because I still have really, really bad days. Like, and that's still stuff that I struggle with from my eating disorder. But he always takes the time to really listen to me and try to like feel how I'm feeling, and I don't know, just sort of explain from like a rational like point of view, like what's actually going on, and just like tell me how much he cares and how strong I am and how much I've changed and how much I've gone through.
Hold on, that one's really tough, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about that and like reading about how I should do it, and it's really hard not to gloat, but just to explain for people out there who may be uncertain about like their partner or someone they're dating as to how they should react. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of effort on your part to truly understand your partner's love language. Because for this one, how you know and how I've read, sometimes when people have eating disorders, like you had body dysmorphia, which is when someone perceives their body differently as to how it actually is, sometimes she'll have a relapse of that. And in those instances, saying, "Oh, you're beautiful, like, I love the way you look," is not good. Because in that instance, you're perceiving your body as something different than what I actually see it, right, and what it actually may be. Because from one day to the other, you could have lost weight, but in your mind, you're seeing yourself as like gaining or, right, or looking out of shape. And in those instances, it's really hard for me, but I know that it's necessary to give you that tough love, to say, Taylor, you're doing great. Like, you're still working out, you're progressing, you're eating well. And to really give it to her straight. And sometimes it comes out pretty harsh. And I can see it on her face, but it's exactly what you need in those moments. And it's been really tough for me, because in those instances, I do want to tell you that I think you're beautiful, but I know it's just going to make it worse. And and that's just a small example of things that may be necessary as you like strive to understand how to love your partner more fully in the way that they need to receive their love.
Guys, he loves me so much. It's so cute. Number 3 is service. He's really good at this. He does this all the time. If I ask him to do something, I'm not really annoying person that if there's something that needs to get done, I like can't focus on anything else until it gets done. So sometimes it'll be like a Saturday afternoon, and once I start cleaning something, I just don't stop for hours on end, because I have a list of like things that I know that need to get done. And sometimes I'll get really stressed over it. So to share that burden, which he doesn't think of as a burden at all, like he'll help out with things around the house if I ask for him to get them done, or just to get them done because he knows that I'm stressed about doing them, which is really nice. And some, like, I don't know, some mornings we share like the responsibility of like taking the dog out, which really isn't like a chore, but like sometimes in the morning, like I'm still sleeping and he's up, so he'll take the dog out for me, so like I don't have to do it, which is sometimes really nice. Number 4 is gifts. Like I said, like gifts are nice. I really don't think I need them. Like, it's just, I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah. It is. It's nice, but yeah, not needed. And number 3, touch, which I was very shocked at this result. But he does a really good job at this too.
Simple as that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to share a little section or a little quote from a guy named Kyle Benson, who it looks like he wrote a book, and I'm on his website right now, and it's all about relationships. And that he wrote his theory on something called the love tank theory. So this is just his take on it. In Dr. Gary Chapman's popular book, The 5 Love Languages, he writes that every person has a love tank. I would like to propose that every relationship has its own love tank. A couple's love tank is filled by the frequency of emotional connections, and it is drained by the way a couple disconnects. In your daily life, there are events that fill up your love tank. These include emotional and physical affection, your partner asking about your day, helping out with laundry, and weekly dates. Your partner's love tank also gets filled up in ways that are sometimes similar and sometimes different. There are also events that empty your love tank, such as work stress, an unresponsive partner, conflict that doesn't get resolved, broken trust, a lack of affection, and other forms of disconnection that drain your energy. Some incidents drain your love tank faster than others.
So these love languages should help you understand how you can supply your relationship love tank with your partner or your friends or your family. Everyone's going to have a love tank, and the more we make connections with the people around us and the more we show our love for them, the more we will fill those love tanks and feel more connected to the people around us. So we encourage all of you, our listeners, which is almost 100 people per episode at this point, and we thank you for your continued support, to go out to Gary Chapman's website and to take the 5 love languages quiz to figure out what not only your love languages are, but your partner's love languages as well, and encourage your partner to take the test, or your friends or your parents to take the test, so that you guys can then discuss how that love language has affected you over the years or in recent months and recent weeks.
And I just want to close with this quote from Dr. Sue Johnson, and she says, quote, "Love is a constant process of tuning in, connecting, missing and misreading cues, disconnecting, repairing and finding deeper connection. It's a dance of meeting and parting and finding each other again, minute to minute and day by day."
Which leads us to next week's topic that Taylor doesn't even know about. But we are going to be talking about what has come up many times today, which is the idea of keeping balance in your relationship. And I'll share a story about an idol of mine. You may not agree with his professional choices, but this is the football coach for The Ohio State University. His name is Urban Meyer. He used to be head football coach of the Florida Gators. And the experiences that he went through with his family and how he had to adapt, how he was living his life in order to fit the needs of his family, as well as meet his work needs, and how he had to change his lifestyle to meet the love languages of his wife and daughters. But we'll also talk about my needs versus Taylor's needs, what we need to do together and separate, and how we can adequately live our separate lives while also consequently sharing everything as a married couple. It'll be an interesting episode, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So thank you once again for tuning in. We appreciate all of your guys' support and all the listens that you guys are giving us, and patience for the intermittent publishing of these episodes. We will be more consistent coming up because major events are behind us, and major downtime is in front of us. So we will be more efficient with our time. Remember that you can find us anywhere you find your podcasts. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment on whatever your platform is. That helps us spread the awareness of the episode. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at whimsicaljoshua, and you can find Taylor on Twitter. Her tag is at wifeyAnderson. I know that. She doesn't. And on Instagram at
Taylor_page1.
That is the numeral 1. Please leave us a direct message on your thoughts and comments about the episode. We'd really like to do maybe a Q&A in a next couple episodes to see what you guys are thinking about the podcast, as well as listener feedback. Tell us what you love about the podcast, what you hate about the podcast. Like it, smash it, do whatever you feel. It's 2018, so do as you please. We love you. We care for you. We appreciate everything you guys do for us and the support you give us. And we look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Thank you.